A change to Wisconsin's Constitution expanding cash bail has cleared one of 3 steps towards completion, but what's missing are key recommendations an exhaustive legislative committee made 4 years ago.
Investigative reporter Naomi Coles covers how one of those recommendations is still being used here in Dane County. Naomi?
It may not be a formal law, but Dane County is one of several in Wisconsin using a data-informed approach to deciding how much a defendant has to pay or what release conditions they need before being released back into the community while they wait for trial. When arrested for a crime in Dane County, there are 3 people that give a court a recommendation for what type and how much bail to set. You might know 2 of them, the prosecutor and defense attorney. The third, a more neutral party.
So we try to get as many done as we can.
Clark Rogers is one such risk assessor with Dane County. Every morning, he and his team run through what's called a public safety assessment for everyone newly in custody.
We have to kind of juggle all of that and get that done in really the 4 hours before court.
They're a tool. They're one tool that the criminal justice system gets to use when they're looking at an individual and whether this individual should be kept either in custody on this cash bail or can we let them out of custody using other tools?
The public safety assessment isn't widely used in Wisconsin, but Milwaukee and Dane counties have used it for several years as an extra resource for judges when they make their final decision. This particular one uses a 9-point scale to determine whether the person is likely to commit new violent crimes if they're released before trial.
The public safety assessment that we're using in Dane County is as objective as we can make it. It's race neutral in how we make the decisions. Race is not a factor that we're considering. Sexuality is not a factor we're considering in the public safety assessment.
The goal, protecting the community, but also using data to arrive at the least restrictive option needed for a defendant. This was one of several wrecks that's gone by the wayside after that 2018 Legislative Study Committee on Pretrial Detention and Cash Bail. Now, I took a long, hard look at how tragedy has spurred bail reform in Wisconsin, but how it hasn't always worked in the way it was intended. That coverage online right now at channel3000.com. News 3 investigates.